Let's face it, cleaning the oven is probably the most avoided household task. I can attest to that.
Yes.
It's not glamorous, but if you ignore the problem, it could be smelly, smoky, and downright dangerous.
Well, yeah, but getting it done can be real simple thanks to the magazine of the same name, right? So Leslie Corona back with us, senior editor of Real Simple. She's here to talk about some tips to tackle the dirty job. So last week it was laundry, Leslie. This week you're taking on the oven. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So let's just throw up the image first of all of the hosts' ovens, okay? Just so you can see what we're working with here. It looks like Ben and Betty have the worst.
Well,
worst
thank
ones.
you.
I will say, in all honesty,
Monasol's a close tie.
Yeah, I didn't include
They're not so bad.
Yeah, they're not so bad. In all honesty, mine is probably would be dirtier. I had just moved, so that's why it's pretty much.
Well,
clean.
given the time frame, yours is probably way dirtier than ours, right?
So Leslie, first and foremost, what are the telltale signs that your oven needs scrubbing? Is it just like you can't see through that glass anymore?
I mean, that's one sign. I think general appearance is probably the most obvious one. If there's like grease on the windows, if there are stains on the bottom of the oven, of course it's time to clean the oven. But the other sign is smell. So if you turn the oven on and you smell food, but you haven't put any food in there, that means that there's like grease that's hanging out in there that you just haven't noticed, and that's what you're smelling.
All right, so how often should we clean these ovens?
So you should be, for the average cook, we recommend 2 times a year, but if you love to cook and you're always baking, try 3 to 4 times actually.
Really?
And to make it painless, just try and keep up with those stains as they happen. You know, put salt on the stain as soon as you can if it's hot, and then the next day you can wipe it out of the oven.
I never heard of that, putting salt on it?
What about pepper? Now for the biannual deep clean, right? Because that's what you want to, when you get that deep clean to get out the crud. What is the best way to tackle it? Is it just to turn on that self-clean option?
So we can talk about self-cleaning in a minute because a lot of people are very afraid to use that. What we recommend doing actually is a little bit of it's a natural alternative. And I'm not going to lie, it is going to take up some time, but it's mostly just waiting. So you're going to start by taking the racks out of the oven, bring it over the tub, put some hot water, some dish soap, and dryer sheets. Put dryer sheets in with your racks.
Why?
Yeah, it really works. The dryer sheets, there are softening agents in the sheets that will kind of break down the bonds of the grease and the fat that hang onto the racks. Yeah, so let that sit overnight. Go back to your oven. You can, overnight. Wipe out everything from the oven. Use a hand vacuum. That's what I did to kind of get all the crumbs out.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
It's good for your back. I don't have back problems, but it worked for me. Anyway. So yeah, then you're gonna lay a damp microfiber towel on the window to break down any grease on the window. Follow up with a spray bottle. Spray everything down in your oven with water to soften everything. Then put a paste of baking soda and water.
Oh, that's intense. There's a lot of steps here.
There are, but
I just want to press the self-cleaning button. And luckily I have one that does that, but you're right, it gets super hot and it gets smoky in the house.
Yeah, so self-cleaning ovens are tricky and they're kind of scary to use. The oven gets as hot as 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. And, you know, that's not an exaggeration. So if you're gonna go this route, honestly, we recommend doing this when your oven is moderately dirty, not filthy. Don't wait until it's filthy to use it because you can increase the chance of fire with that.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So before you start, though, obviously take everything out of the oven, including the racks, wipe out any crumbs.
Oh, you take out the racks? I kept them in.
So,
I kept the chicken in too. I was trying to do 2 things at once.
So some ovens you can leave the racks in, check with the manufacturer and stuff like that, but sometimes it's just better to take them out.
Okay.
Anyway, raise the windows, and then the next day, when the oven is completely cool, just wipe everything out wipe out the ash, because it's ash, with a damp cloth.
Okay.
Oh, it's because everything burns up so much that it just turns to ash. Yeah. And lastly, for those who might be saying, you know what, I don't want to do the self-cleaning, but I also don't want to use toxic cleaning products. Is what you were saying with the baking soda, is that a DIY? Is there a greener method here?
So that is probably one of the greenest ways you can go about this. There are a lot of products out there you can buy, but the thing is, commercial cleaners are not recommended by oven manufacturers, and that's because it can ruin the inside of your oven. It can ruin the interior, the warranty as well. So you can try what we recommended. I've also heard of salt, just rubbing salt and water on stains and stuff like that, because it's abrasive. I have not tried this, but I suspect that it does work with a microfiber towel and rubbing it really well.
Oh.
And again, the microfiber towel is good for the glass window, right? Don't use Windex, which is what I've done. in the past.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine too, as long as you follow up with water just to get rid of all of the residue from the Windex. But yeah, microfiber just in general is an amazing tool you should have for all your cleaning.
So just to go over the glass one more time, because I think that's the
That's a
struggle,
telltale sign of a
right?
dirty
That's
oven.
the struggle.
Yeah.
My mother was like, I don't even know how to do it. And so again, microfiber cloth, you just lay it there.
So you should wet the towel and then put a little bit of dish soap on it, kind of rub it all together, and then lay it on top of the window. Let that sit for at least 20 minutes. I left it overnight, to be honest, because my oven was that bad.
Oh, wow.
But then you lift the towel the next day and then just use a dish sponge to kind of scrub it clean a little bit. Be gentle about it, but use a dish sponge.
Did everything come off? I mean, was it spotless?
I'm sorry, what?
Did everything come off and it was spotless?
Yeah, it was crazy. I posted it on Instagram and everybody was like, oh my God, what did you do? So it really does work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, no dryer sheets, microfiber there. Not the dryer sheets, not for that.
Yeah.
That's when you're soaking your racks in the bathtub.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mix it all
That really
up.
works.
I'm gonna mix it. I've got all sorts of confused. I'm gonna be using dryer sheets to wash my body. I'll be using microfiber sheets to do the laundry. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Leslie.
All right,
Thank
good
you.
information. And for additional details, all you have to do is check out the latest issue of Real Simple on newsstands and online.